What's up, Larry?
Oh,
Okay.
all right, the echo should be gone. The echo should be gone. What up, Tony?
No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedated, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask her about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. Seen some thousands, now I'm out to some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
Oh man, double tap that screen, shut a live out, chat. I know we early tonight. I know it's a pop out live. I really wasn't gonna go live, but I said I couldn't leave the chat hanging. So we just gonna pop out, do a reaction to this Candace Owens and Shawn Ryan sit down, man. I couldn't leave y'all hanging tonight. I wanted to kick it a little bit, just a little bit.
I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spencer night, she pack a bag right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spencer night, she pack a bag right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
I like that song right there, chat. Double tap that screen, shut a live out, man. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap that screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Where's the tag?
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
There we go.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap that screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap that screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? We got Candace and Shawn Ryan. Tell all, man. Happy 4th of July to everyone in here. What's up, Purple Flower? What's up, Lori? What's up, Bridget, man? What's up, Tony, man? Everyone drop a like on the video as soon as you come in, and we're going to get straight into it, man. I skipped all of the parts where Candace was talking about the Charlie Kirk investigation because this is a 4-hour interview, and I'm not finna sit here for 4 hours. So we're going to start off at like an hour and a half in where she's talking about threats and violence. Then they're going to talk about how she switched from liberal to conservative and all of that. We're not going to get into the Charlie Kirk situation on tonight.
So 2007, looks like you got threats in your senior year.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I wrote about it in my first book. It was one of these moments that I think made me understand the media and how the media functions, sort of
hit the like button,
their
chat.
ability to lie or sort of to create a narrative. And in retrospect, what happened could have just been understood in like a very high school way. I had a best friend who was a guy friend of mine. And I think he's gay, by the way. I think he ended up being gay in life. But he and I hung out all the time until I got my first boyfriend. And that was it. I was totally the typical standard, ditch all your friends, spend nonstop time with your boyfriend. And he was really angry and bitter about that. Not because...
Yeah, I believe that from Candace. I do believe that when Candace got a man, she cut off everything. Like, she was probably so far up his ass, he couldn't even burp.
Because he liked me or anything, but it was just, I guess, a disruption. And so one night, I guess, he rounded up a couple of guys who I had never met in my life, which is why it was scary when it happened, because I was thinking, I don't know who would leave me these messages. And they left, the boys. And I mean, the youngest was like 12 years old, I think, having his first beer. And they left like horrifically racist messages. Like, there's no question. We're going to put a bullet in the back of your head like Rosa Parks. I mean...
Holy shit.
It was a lot. And when it happened, I was like, what on earth? Like, who's calling me? I didn't think it was him because the voices weren't his. He had different people in the car, but one of the people ended up being the mayor and then eventual governor of Connecticut's son, which turned it into a political thing. And suddenly now everyone wanted to cover this. I hadn't even reported it myself. I actually was just talking about...
So did Candace kind of get her start like DDG? You know, DDG, someone passed away in his family, I believe, and he wore his hoodie that said subscribe to his YouTube channel at the press conference. And they say that's what cracked his career off. Now, Candace is saying that she had some racial phone calls, people leaving racial voicemails and phone calls, and it happened to be the mayor's and eventual governor's son. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
About it in a philosophy class in high school, and my teacher at the time, who's
What's
now
up,
the
Jared?
principal of the school, of the high school, he's great, loved him. He was like, this is absolutely unacceptable. Look, you're going in right now and reporting this. And so he went right into the principal's office and reported it, and then it felt like everything was taken completely out of my control. And it was like front page fodder because it was, look what the mayor's son was involved in. I had never met the kid in my entire life. And the racism theme and the NAACP is showing up on the steps of my high school. They had never spoken to me, but the NAACP has got an NAACP, so that kind of shaped my ideas about them as well. Because no one cared about how we felt at that point. No one cared about really what probably should have happened is he probably should have been forced to apologize, and they probably, rather than smearing him as a racist, I mean...
So Candace took some NAACP money. You said she didn't mind taking that NAACP money. Oh, what do you mean money?
Was he a racist? No, we were best friends. That's kind of the point. Did he do something and say something racist? Yes. You will be surprised how, when you're trying to hurt someone, how easily available it is to use a racist term, even when you're mad. I mean, there's comedic skits about that. Everyone turns into a racist as soon as someone cuts them off in a car, right? Like, a Spanish guy.
What's crazy about what she just said is that I heard a woman say that shit yesterday. I was on a panel. A woman got cut off in the car, and she was like, "Oh, that racist motherfucker." And I was like, "How do you know he's racist? Like you don't even know who's in that car." Like, that was kind of crazy to me. And to hear her say that is just crazy. Like,
This Spanish guy just cut me off. You know what I mean? Suddenly we're all racist when we're angry. There's some truth to it. You know, you catch yourself. Yeah, you're sexist too. Woman driver, like female. Oh, he's a Chinese man behind the wheel. And so it was, you know, the micro of that pretty much. And more traumatizing than the messages was then having my life completely ripped from me and becoming like this micro celebrity victim, right?
Libertarian comes through supporting the channel via Super Chat and says, all centralized systems are failed. Stop participating. Create your own system of society that functions for your peoples. Love your neighbor. Thank you for supporting the channel, Lunatic Libertarian, on this 4th of July. Thank you, Lunatic Libertarian, for always showing up and supporting the work.
And nobody cared. And everyone's life got ruined in a different way. The kids I know ended up getting into a lot of trouble. I think the kid that was my best friend, I ended up leaving school for a bit and homeschooling just because I wanted, while the FBI was investigating the authenticity of the message, as if it was, I'm sure that was being pressed by
the FBI got involved?
Yeah, they did. And I think it was just because of the element of the politician who was trying to pretend his son didn't do it, as if what I called myself casually, like, and left these messages. I don't know why all of that was even necessary. They should have just confessed, but I think they tried to get away with it in like a weird, stupid way. And the kids ended up getting arrested, and it was definitely not, it was just wasn't dealt with in the right way. And it became this really big thing that ruined a lot of lives. And I think for a kid to be branded as a racist for doing something one night is really heavy. It's really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't y'all say she took the money? I understand she was young and she probably got influenced, but didn't you take the money? Who did the money come from?
Especially when it's just fundamentally not true, right? Like I said, he wouldn't have been my best friend if he was a racist. And he...
Man, I don't think she took the money, man. Y'all just capping. She couldn't have took the money from the NAACP, man. She couldn't have took the money.
I will maintain that he was not a racist. He did something really stupid and said a lot of really racist stuff when he was drunk. People make mistakes. It's hard, especially now in today's environment, to allow kids to make mistakes. Everything is so recorded. I mean, you see what they do if they find one tweet that someone sent that said, you know, the N-word when they were 11 years old. And I remember sitting with my cousin, my younger cousin, one time, and he plays, you know, what's the game? Not Grand Theft Auto, but it's one that's like it, where there's like a lot of guys love it. It's Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty. And he literally was 12 years old. And he's in the chat. Have you ever seen this Call of Duty chat? I'm sure you have, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unbelievable. It's just like this whole, and he's.
Hey, Chad, I need everyone to hit the like button. We got to get the likes up in here, man. Everyone, please double tap that screen. Let me know if you in here. Press 4 if you're in here, you're alive, you're awake, you had a good 4th of July. Press the number 4, man. Let me know y'all up in here.
In there saying whatever and saying Allah Akbar and throwing a bomb. And he's like a 12-year-old kid. And I'm just sitting here going, okay, this is just 12-year-olds just trying everything out, saying what they can. You're going to push boundaries. I mean, it's a part of coming of age. It's like you push boundaries. And, you know, Louis C.K. did a really good skit talking about what the phones are taking away from people. And it's this natural stage where people want to try out being mean. And if you say something to someone's face and you see how they react, and then you realize you don't really feel good being mean, it doesn't actually feel good to be mean, it allows you to kind of edit yourself as a human being. And things are really easy when you add technology as a layer. It's easy to tweet something stupid. It's easy to, you know, say something vicious in the comment section. And we're now.
And that's what I try to say, man. A lot of y'all in here that's y'all know who y'all are. Y'all want to say whatever the fuck you want to say on the internet or do whatever, but when it comes to that real life, real shit with real consequences, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, if you are one of those people that will say exactly what you said online to a motherfucker's face, you're rare. Know that. Know that you are a rare person.
Now dealing with a generation of kids who are growing up terminally online. Whereas when I was growing up, my dad had a beeper, right? And so I don't have to think about the record where I'm sure I experimented with being mean in middle school. And social media has added another dynamic to it. So I kind of reflected on that and again, don't regret any of the lessons from it, but
And that's why I conduct myself the way I conduct myself online. Like I'm not on here talking crazy, just belligerently crazy or racist, or I don't personally attack people. When I'm laughing and shit in the chat, we joking, kicking people out, that's one thing. But as far as just going fucking hard and saying all that, because I know I'm not that person in real life. In real life, I'm a real laid back person because I know how I can get. Where I'm from, man, when shit starts to escalate, motherfuckers get hurt for real, and motherfuckers go to jail for real. So me knowing me, it's like I don't want to take it there, bro, please, because I know how far I'm gonna take it. So I conduct myself like that online. When you see me on these panels, you see me hosting a panel or being on there, you can't name one time you've seen me just go crazy on somebody. I don't do all of that shit, bro. I don't get it.
I really do think that it's just seeing the obsession to politicize and the NAACP and the Democratic mayor looking to like try to cover this up. It kind of gave me an early introduction to what politics is, which is not really about solutions, but
You
rather
saw right through all that shit at 17 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I lived it and it didn't help me. And so all
Never under pressure. Please stop typing in all caps in my chat. I'm asking you respectfully, just please stop typing in all caps in the chat.
also even just the politics of victimhood. This is a victim. Like, who wants to be a victim?
A lot of people.
Yeah. Well, because money is made, and that's kind of the NAACP's grift in that is find me a black victim and I'll show up and be in front of the cameras screaming about how racism still exists. And
What's up, Lau? What's up,
by the way,
Dome?
people are always going to say racist words and sexist words. And, you know, I am just not a big believer in that. I'm not a believer at all in the idea that this is stopping me from getting from point A to point B.
Abba.
It's not really my business if somebody doesn't like black people. Personally, I think everyone's just gotten too nosy. You're allowed to, when people ask me why I don't find, you know, the inflammatory language to be such a threat. And
Now you said, why am I promoting this evil lying woman? You see, I seen that just like I seen when you typed in all caps. If you think Candace is a lying evil woman, that is your opinion. Hey man, it is what it is. I'm doing a reaction and watching this video because I'm interested in it. I want to fucking know what's going on. I want to know her story. Why did she switch from a liberal to conservative? How did she get her first initial platform? And now we're seeing that it was some shit that went on in high school and it got politicized. That's why I'm watching it. If you want to know why I'm promoting this evil, lying woman, is because I want to know the damn story. Simple.
it's just dumb. I find a lot of it to be really dumb. And if you're somebody who thinks I don't want to ever date a black girl or a Spanish girl or a white girl, have at it. Man, it doesn't really impact my life. And so a lot of the hyper focus on that is because it keeps people constantly divided and warring and forming an opinion about stuff that doesn't actually empower any of us. And the people that are intentionally constantly stoking the flames of that are the people at the top, of course.
Does the NAACP actually do anything for the
No.
black community?
No.
Nothing.
They just find another victim and raise money.
I'm going to say not anymore. The NAACP has been usurped. And that's what I talk about with a lot of these black coalitions and movements. They get usurped. Like the BLM movement, usurped. The NAACP, usurped. The Black Caucus, whatever y'all want to call it, you name it, it has been usurped, man.
Money. Of course, if your entire bottom line relies upon racism existing, you don't ever want to go out Duh, common sense. It's sort of like you even saw this with GLAAD. To give another example, their whole grift was all about gay marriage, gay marriage, gay marriage, and then they got gay marriage, and they were like, "Oh, got any more letters in that LGB bag?" And they're like, "Actually, here's a T, a Q, an R,
Let
an
us
S."
invent some.
Yeah, exactly. So these people are not actually looking to solve problems. They're looking to constantly have a problem that needs to be solved so that they can fundraise off of it.
Damn,
They
what a
create
shame.
problems. Like,
I mean, I feel like derogatory racial terms. I mean, it seems like they've completely lost the weight
yeah,
because they've overused it.
Yeah.
Everything in every
possible regard.
That's what it is. It's because money always gets involved. Once money gets involved, infiltration occurs, movements become usurped. Once money gets involved, a lot of these people can't say no to the money. They don't realize that them taking that initial payoff or whatever to get a certain initiatives move forward, now they're blackmailed. Now they got them by the balls. Now the movement is getting unalived from the inside out. They can't say no to the money.
graphic.
Yeah. And you just also we just need people to be tougher. Like, you'll be fine if somebody calls you the N-word. You'll be fine if somebody calls you a racial slur. Like,
What's
we
up,
just need to
Josh?
kind of build tougher people than to think that they're all coming apart because they've been called a name. Like, I want my kids to be tougher than that, you know?
Why do you think do you
See, you say I don't celebrate 4th of July for my independence. It's Juneteenth. See, this is the thing. As an FBA, it's not about the Independence Day right here. It's about celebrating America, celebrating the homeland, celebrating what is ours. That's what it is for the FBA. It is Independence Day, but it is also a day to just celebrate America. You know what I'm saying?
think it's for the money, the donations, whatever it is, that like the
100%.
NAACP, or do you think it's bigger than that? Do you think? I mean,
It can get bigger than that.
the divide and conquer.
Absolutely. BLM was that example. I mean, when they get going, they can cause people to be at each other's throats, warring. They will cause a civil war before they get people looking at the corruption of what they're doing. And that's been tale as old as time.
Who do you think they is? They's a lot of different people.
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. You know, there's totally different categories of topics that I cover on the show. You know, I think the biggest issue that we have right now in America, without question, is Israel. Israel.
That's the thing, Tony. Tony made a good point, said a lot of people never heard of Juneteenth until it was a federal holiday. He grew up celebrating it. I did as well, Tony. You know, Arkansas's had the longest running Juneteenth festival anywhere in the country. So I grew up going to Juneteenth festivals. I remember like the local rappers it used to be a big thing. My cousin got to perform at Juneteenth in Little Rock, and it was like a really big thing. Like, we thought he fucking made it because he was performing at Juneteenth. And I was young then.
And the satanic people who support what they're doing. The bloodthirst, the control, they behave like a mafia. And I'm talking specifically about Zionists. And sometimes people will say, well, when you say Zionists, you mean Jews. I want to be very clear. The Judeo-Christians can be some of the most toxic, gang-like people who are part of the same apparatus. So you actually can't isolate it. But I have found, which has been the experience, I think, of a lot of people, especially over the last year, this is a gang. This is a mafia. This is not normal. What they did, the pressure they put Charlie under, what they did to me, what they're currently doing to Megyn Kelly. I mean, Megyn Kelly, I think, is probably the greatest example. What did Megyn Kelly do? Like, Megyn Kelly was like, I'm a Zionist. And they were like, we don't care. You say something about Tucker Carlson right now, or we will destroy you.
And you.
That's a mafia.
And you.
Yeah. And me. That's a mafia. That is, you are with us or
I'm just gonna be honest, man. I'm not out for throwing Megyn Kelly no damn life jackets and shit like that. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. They turned their back on her, man. It is what it fucking is, man. That's just how this shit goes sometimes, man. Straight up, man. I've been doing this shit like 2 years, and a plethora of motherfuckers done turned their back on me. It is what it is, man. You knew what you signed
were
up
against us,
for.
and I faced that obviously in my own life and saw that, and I called it out for what it is. And it's, by the way, we're late to the party. Michael Jackson was trying to say what it was. Kanye West was trying to say what it was. They lived through this mafia. And finally, we have people understanding that.
What did Michael Jackson say?
Michael Jackson had a list of the 6 Jewish people who he said were messing with his life. Rabbi Shmuley was on the list. I can't think of the other people that were on it, and that they called him an anti-Semite. They called him an anti-Semite because he was talking about control in Hollywood and people that he was fighting for control.
Who's Rabbi Shmuley?
He's just a crazy, crazy, deranged
Am I
human.
supposed to know him?
He had a lot to do with the Michael Jackson stuff because he called himself Michael Jackson's rabbi, and really kind of is just a person that is constantly threatening people out in the open, and is somehow allowed to do it because of what his father did for the state of Israel. And often you will find that thread of the people who are the most deranged and the most psychopathic, and yet somehow seem to be allowed to function in society. You just have to figure out who their parents were, who their uncles were, and they've done something for the state of Israel. So they're like in the Zionist mafia, as I describe it. It is a mafia.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, like being from Arkansas is kind of like, shit. Is that what Mike Huckabee name got going on? Is that what's going on around here, man? Shit.
There's no question in my life. It's in my mind that it is a gang.
What was Kanye saying?
Well, Kanye, he notoriously.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. They had Mike Huckabee playing the damn guitar. They had Mike Huckabee all overseas playing the damn guitar. Boy.
Tweeted that he was going to go DEFCON 3 on some Jewish people that had been toying with his life. And nobody cared when he dropped the actual text messages from his trainer, Harley Pasternak, saying that he would put him back in the hospital and he'd never be able to see his kids again. He dropped the messages. We talk about a gangster threat. Like, here's how it's going to go. Harley Pasternak is a trainer. And Kanye was basically, before I was awake to this possibility, I was very much around him when this was all going down, when he tweeted this and when Adidas pulled his.
Why I say guitar like that? Because that's because it was my country. I'm talking about Mike Huckabee, Arkansas shit, so I just called it a guitar. You know, I don't know, Tony here. It just came out like that, man. But yeah.
Contract, he was at my house and all the stuff that was going on, and he was basically, I just thought I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like very green to this concept of someone saying that their life was a Truman Show. And he was like, basically like, are you a real person? Like, even to me, are you a real person? Like, and I'm like, are you good? Like, what do you mean? Like, you think I'm a character in a show? Are you real? He was going through this. And at its core is he felt like someone was directing his life and that the people had been controlling him and were, he was going to stand up to these people. But Harley Pasternak was his trainer. I've covered this on my show. He's got a very checkered past. A lot of his clients have died in suspicious circumstances.
What up, Top Cat?
He also was like former Canadian CIA, like psychology or something, and then like decided to go be a gym trainer in LA, in Hollywood. And these are handlers. Handlers are real. This is a part of the onion of the Zionist mafia, in my view, is the handlers who are supposed to see if they can bring you back to the side of reason. Can't you see the error of your ways? And even when you're completely right, their job is to gaslight you into thinking that you're wrong. And I've had my experience. I believe that I had handlers and didn't recognize it. But Kanye, when he kind of really woke up to that, Harley Pasternak, he shared the message that Harley Pasternak, his trainer, gym trainer, wrote to him. And he said, here's how it's going to go. Maybe he said, you're going to say sorry or something. And then the message reads, or I'll take you back to Cedar Sinai, because Harley Pasternak is the one that got Kanye put on a Psych 5150 hold when they drugged him. And he said, and we'll take you back to, I think he described it as La La Land. And he said, and play dates with your kids will never be the same. Will drug you out of your mind.
Holy shit.
It's in writing. And the media just let it go and said Kanye was crazy. I said, no, Harley Pasternack's crazy. Who the hell is this man? It's not how a gym trainer talks. Who is this guy?
Holy shit.
And so when stars, Hollywood stars, have been screaming and trying to tell you that something is wrong and that they suddenly wake up to the fact that they're in a prison, the first thing that happens is another layer of the onion comes out and calls them crazy. That's how that works. They say this person's having an emotional breakdown. They diagnose the people. And the reason for that is because that strategy of modern psychology was developed by Sigmund Freud, who was a Satanist, full stop. He was into Jewish mysticism, the occult, Sabbatian Frankism, and he began gaslighting kids who actually were being raped by their parents in Vienna. That is the true story of Sigmund Freud. There's a book on it by the man who controlled his archives called The Assault on Truth. This is a book written by a Jewish man. So there's no anti-Semitism in this book. And he worked under Anna Freud and was due to become the next director of a Sigmund Freud archive.
Shawn did sidestep that handler conversation really quickly. He did move the damn show on. He was like, wow, and just moved that shit along. He did.
Archives. So he was a fan of psychology. He believed in Sigmund Freud's theory, which was that kids are attracted to their parents. Wacky. And then he learned to speak German so that he could read Sigmund Freud's notes and his letters that the public has never seen. And he realized that Sigmund Freud was a complete fraud. And he rang the alarm on it and said he literally saw and knew that these kids were being abused, that these kids were being raped. In some cases in Vienna, they were being raped and murdered in such satanic, vicious, occult, ceremonies that they died. And he would then go to the morgue. He observed their injuries. He knew it was real. And he lied because he was protecting his pedophile friends. And so they developed Sigmund Freud's contribution to society.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think that about a lot of these creators. I do believe that they have their convictions and the things that they stand on. But oftentimes when they get that call and it's time to fall in line for some shit, they know what time it is. They know what pulls in the dollars. They know how to appeal to a base. But they do have some conviction. Like Tucker, I believe that Tucker believes some of the shit he says. Candace, I do believe Candace believes this Charlie Kirk, the whole Charlie Kirk situation. But when it comes to the rage bait and the post to move certain, not the post, but the commentary to move certain initiatives forward, yeah, I believe that's all on par. I believe that that's messaging that is handed down. And when she says that I believe I had handlers around, I believe it was some messaging being handed down.
Society is gaslighting.
What's up, Alpha?
He created gaslighting. So you can draw a direct line from Sigmund Freud to Hollywood to modern propaganda. His nephew is Edward Bernays, the World War II propaganda, all of that, that's Edward Bernays, to PR that we have today. That the Freud family is still the biggest PR family in the world. They do PR for the royal family. Matthew Freud. And this is where we're at, is gaslighting is another onion piece of a layer. So when you realize someone's wronged you and you say, this is wrong, they then send people to try to make you think that you're the crazy person. And I dealt with that firsthand. Saw how the mafia moves, trying to convince me that I had done something wrong when I tweeted genocide is always wrong. The messages were insane that I received. I had to read my tweet like 1,000 times and go, did I say something in here? Like, genocide is always wrong.
You said genocide is wrong, and then...
Genocide is always wrong.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Who do you think your handlers were?
There we go, Shawn. Here we go, Shawn.
How close to you were they?
They were all, it was very apparent, but it was all around me. I think probably the most skilled handler and was Marissa. I didn't realize until that moment that, she messaged me and said, like, I want to help you. You don't want to go down this route. If you go down this route, I can't protect you. And I stood up for myself and the messages. And I said, Marissa, go down what route? Like, what am I doing here that's wrong? You know, I'm a grown adult woman. I know what I'm saying. I believe genocide is always wrong. I mean, this was all via text message, so I still have it.
Who's Marissa?
Marissa is the CEO of Prager University, PragerU. And then, of course, the Daily Wire, who were trying to convince me that I owed Ben an apology for saying genocide is always wrong. I mean, watching that psychological element of them trying to convince me that I had done something wrong was insane. And Dave Rubin was messaging me. It was just full on everyone trying to explain to me,
What's up, Spitfire?
like, let me help you. It's always the approach of like, I'm your friend and I'm trying to help you realize the error of your ways. And it's just full blown gaslighting. And I stood firm on it and was like, no, I know what I wrote. And I meant every word of it. Genocide is always wrong. Still stand by that.
Yeah.
Spitfire, we go live at 10 p.m. Central Time every night. I'm just early tonight because it's a holiday and I wasn't going to go live, but I promised to be consistent because last month I took like 2.5, 3 weeks off. So I said I was going to be consistent, so we just came on, you know, like an hour early tonight.
You got to be careful. How do you hire?
Well,
That's like the most. I get so fucking paranoid when I have to hire. I mean, everybody hates hiring.
yeah.
I really fucking hate hiring
Yeah.
because I don't trust anybody.
Yeah. I trust my gut.
How do you find your people?
Well, I've benefited from the fact that I've had the same people on my team for
Yeah, Chad, I'm not gonna lie. I don't, that's why I stick to being a streamer and shit. When it comes to the shit that Candace does, Shawn, Rod, like, I'm a streamer, you know what I'm saying? Like, what they do is a little different. All the investigative discovery and investigative journalism and shit. Hey, man, I leave that shit to them.
well, over 5 years now. So when I got fired from a Daily Wire, my team came with me, which was a tremendous vote of confidence at the time because we didn't know. We didn't have anything. We were just sort of like, look, we can't give you any benefits. We don't know if this is going to work, obviously. And the Daily Wire at that time was paying.
Oh, and what I mean by that is I'm not out here trying to solve no damn cases, man. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with y'all, Chad. I'm not the one, bro. If y'all think a plug is about to be out here trying to solve some motherfucking cases, you got it wrong, bro. I'm not trying to solve no case, man.
You know, a lot of money. They had benefits. They had security, and you know, my editor came over, my producer came over, technical director, and so it was a tremendous vote of confidence that they came over with me. So I know that they believe in me and they believe in what I'm doing. So I'm lucky that we don't have a high turnover rate, and I haven't had to be trusting, and I'm just very grateful. I think to have that, and we're tight. We have a good time. We have fun. I believe in SEAL Team 6. I like to keep the team small and effective. I don't care about, you know, appearances and having 90 people working for me, and, you know, I can dress.
Oh, that's crazy. Now that I say I ain't trying to solve no cases, y'all want to leave. Y'all want to lead a live stream. Oh, Plug don't want to be out here with his damn badge on solving cases. Let me get out the light. No, I ain't. Hey, man.
Myself. You know, this is so. It's a small team, and when we do have
Thank
to
you,
hire,
OG Dave.
I go with my gut. We recently hired a new director, and he's been fantastic. And the reason why he was great is he just totally sits outside of the entire wheelhouse of politics. So he was just a burst of fresh air, and, you know, loves to research.
Al.
He's just a great positive attitude, and you have to want to be around the people too. You spend a lot of time, you're fighting a lot of battles with them, and so you want to keep them motivated and have a good time and be able to laugh and enjoy each other, have the same values in life. I think everybody on my team is in a really good.
Yeah, every one of those people she said is is that, man. But the thing about it is you got to realize that they didn't say anything to her. She didn't realize she had handlers until she got out of pocket. Everything else she was saying When she was a liberal, she was on her way up. They pulled her on in. She flipped conservative. All of that shit didn't matter. Attacked the black communities, said that dinosaurs wasn't real, you know, all of that shit didn't matter. But when she got out of pocket with that genocide word, everybody showed their face. She was in pocket with everything else she was saying. That's why it's not hard for me to say that the messaging was coming down, that a lot of these creators believe in what they believe in, but they're all on code with something. And she didn't realize that shit because she said the closest person to her, the PragerU woman, she didn't realize that was her handler until she got out of pocket with this shit. And they want her to apologize to Ben Shapiro.
Place in life, like fulfilled by their relationships, by their marriages. So it feels good.
Good for you.
Yeah, we're in a good spot.
Good for you. All right, let's go back a couple years. Where'd you go to college?
They didn't even care about what she said about Macron. Remember that they knew what shit wasn't going on. They didn't give a damn about what she said about Brigitte. They didn't give a damn about what she said. That they was on some fuck Emmanuel Macron shit. That's what they was on. It wasn't until she got out of pocket with that shit.
Went to the University of Rhode Island. That incident in high school happened when it was in my senior year. So it kind of threw my entire senior year into chaos. And I'm lucky I even applied to college. I almost didn't even apply because it was so crazy. And URI was like close enough. I just applied to URI, got in, went there.
What'd you want to study?
English and journalism. I have a double major in English and journalism, so I think it's quite fitting. Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
Where did I go from there? So actually, the story is I finished my degree later because Sallie Mae had a huge collapse and didn't give me my loan for my senior year of college. I have senior year issues, I've realized. So you've got some senior year issues. And so I had to figure it out. Sallie Mae basically was like, you have 1 year before we start knocking on your door and demanding your firstborn child. I had $100K in student loan debt. They weren't going to pay for the last year. Crazy. I could wax poetic about the industry of student loans. It's so predatory. Finding poor people and getting them to pledge just to be in debt for the rest of their lives. But I then moved to New York City. I had no plan. I picked up a job nannying and was like, while I was nannying, if I could just start applying for jobs because these loans were starting to haunt me. I needed to make some money and get out of debt. And so I was like, if I get my foot in the door anywhere, I can sell myself. I can learn anything. I'm a really hard worker. And my second interview at a private equity firm, I saw that like they pay their assistants really well, these private equity guys. And so my second interview at a private equity firm, I got hired to be a second assistant and hired on the spot, which was fantastic. And then I stayed with that company for 4 years. And when I left, I was like the vice president of the administration.
Wow.
They were fantastic to me. I was treated really well. And I got to travel the world because it was one of those jobs where I had to do everything. Everything. I mean, his wife.
Did you just say you went from second assistant to VP of the entire company in 4 years?
VP of the administration. It was a small company, so I don't want to make it wasn't like there was like 1,000 employees. It was like almost like a family style trade desk, a true private equity structure. I mean, maybe 18 employees, which was nice. It actually is part of the reason why I like the idea of a small team because I saw it work. Mm-hmm. And they were killers. We worked.
Cypher, thank you for gifting that membership, man. Thank you for gifting that membership, Cypher. Doom, be sure to give Cypher some love for gifting you that membership. I have been dropping members first videos all week. I got like 4 more videos that are gonna come out that are members first. So be sure to grab your memberships. Thank you, Cypher, for that gifted.
Really hard, and I got to meet a lot of really cool people. They invested also in movies, and there was a lot of traveling involved. So I got to see the world on somebody else's dime, which was great too. because he also, when he had crises happening in his personal life, he really trusted me to just learn anything and figure it out.
What's up,
Whether it was building a
XX?
house in Montauk, whether it was, I mean, I ended up with Snoop Dogg in Croatia. You know what I mean? Like there were so many crazy adventures, and no 2 days were the same. So I had a fantastic time while I was there. And I was there to pay off my student loans. And so every time bonus season came around, I would just ask him to pay another chunk. You know, hey, can you pay another chunk, pay another chunk? And he did. I was working for the principal there. And so they also even put me through, I went down to learn Spanish. I moved to Costa Rica for, was it a 8-week program? And you live with a family that doesn't speak any English because he had a wife that was Spanish speaking. And so she hired a lot of Spanish staff. And I was like, well, I got to learn the language. I can't manage the staff if I don't know the language. And so because they traveled, you know,
Thanks,
everyone goes
Gito.
to
Hold on. Did she
Montauk
work for TMZ too? Did she work for TMZ?
or the Hamptons for the summer, I was like, I found a program. Can you pay for me to go down there? I'll learn Spanish. And so I did that. And so,
So you speak Spanish.
yeah, well, I'm now really, really rusty, but I was fluent in Spanish. And I can understand Spanish though. And so, yeah, I mean, I really lived a lot in those 4.5 years that I was there, saw a lot of the world, and just, I always wanted to grow. I like learning. I like learning. I like focusing. Anything that I put my mind to, I feel like I can learn. And that was kind of my introduction to, I mean, there's no place, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's the expression. And I live by that. I really do believe that because it's such a tough city.
What were you doing at Vogue?
So that's when I was interning initially. I was interning and I did the whole magazine circuit. So I did 17 magazine, I did Glamour magazine, and I did Vogue, which was the big one that everyone wants to get into. And it was, of course, as somebody who loved to write, I majored in English and journalism. That was my glamorous idea, was that I was going to go move to New York City and, I don't know, be Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. I don't know what my idea was. It was, in retrospect, a little bit cartoonish. And then when I got there, I just culturally was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. You know, this is not where I want to work. The girls were so vicious, so hungry, so, you know, but I learned a lot. I mean, they would have fond memories of me. I worked my butt off, and that was why I kind of graduated up to the magazines and was the head of the intern closet, so to speak.
Hit the like button on your way in, chat. Everyone be sure to double tap that screen on your way in. We got to get the likes up in here.
At Vogue and made great friends. So I've been a lot of places, really, when I think about it.
See that?
New York was tough. It was fun. It was a lot of lessons learned, and they even, the private equity firm even let me take, because I wanted to learn a little bit about private equity. You know, I became a notary, because anytime they were like, we need this, I was like, how many times am I going to get a notary in here? Why don't I just become a notary? That's the kind of person I am. Like, so I took the test and became a notary, and then did this NYU accounting course as well, because I wanted to understand a little bit more about the finance side of what we were doing, because I was interested in the deals. They were really all so different that were being brought. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's 3 a.m.
Guided, and I was very green. And I put it up on Kickstarter, and I got this weird call from this girl called Zoe Quinn. Gamers who are watching this will know exactly who this is. They'll be like, yes, the gamer, that's how I knew you, or whatever. And it was really weird because she was telling me she was a victim and that I couldn't make this company. She misunderstood what we were even thinking about doing. She thought we're going to build a technology, like a Silicon Valley technology, to unmask trolls on the internet, which was not at all what we were doing. We had no capability to do this. We had a splash page. That's why we were on Kickstarter. I had no connections to be able to do that. But her call, she was saying she was a victim, but it was very obvious she was threatening me. And I didn't know anything about this girl or Gamergate. And long story short, after I hang up the phone call with her, I start getting hit with a bunch of threats online. And it was very obvious to me that this girl was directing the threats. Just my gut instinct that something was wrong with this girl. And I landed myself into the middle of a huge Gamergate, war that was being covered extensively by Breitbart. I'm really just always in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so suddenly, next thing you know, Washington Post is calling me. I'm not known at this time. They're calling me and they're asking, and I'm thinking these are my friends. Like, I went to school, Washington Post. That is the top of the line journalism. I learned this in school. Like, what? I'm so flattered to be able to give this interview. And I spoke to this girl, Caitlin Dewey was her name. I'll never forget that. And she was so nice on the phone. And I said to her, yeah, and I explained to her what happened. I'm like, I really don't think that girl Zoe Quinn is telling the truth because, you know, she was a victim and said that she was harassed by gamers. And so she kind of built a whole 501c3 platform based off of that. And I guess the Gamergate conspiracy was that she was actually leading an army of trolls. And that was just my experience with her in 4 seconds, you know, and I had no idea what was going on or what the backstory was. Just like, that girl is led trolls against me and that girl wasn't a victim. And boy, was that a big statement. Anyway, the Washington Post, after they interviewed me, Caitlin Dewey, also New York Magazine, I believe it was, or the New Yorker, Jesse Signal or Single was his name, Signal, they lied and smeared me after I thought these guys were my friends. And I told them the truth and they were protecting this girl, Zoe Quinn. It was so weird. And this was the entire thrust of the Gamergate conspiracy, was that this girl was being artificially protected, that she was actually leading an army of trolls and pretending that we needed to do something about men and gamers on the internet. And this is kind of like the preamble to the Hillary Clinton campaign, which became very much we kind of got into this anti-masculinity, men are toxic. It was kind of the preamble to that. And I think she had a real fear that if I had created this technology which could unmask trolls, that it was going to expose that everything the gamer conspiracy theorists were saying was true.
Wow.
That was my read on the situation. And so she was being protected, and I never really, I'm just not a gamer. I just didn't know. But the only people that actually gave me a fair shake in the media, who I spoke to, was Breitbart, which was crazy because I thought they were the white supremacist, my Connecticut Democratic surroundings, blue liberal-ish mind. I was really reticent to speak to them. And then they wrote the truth about what I had said. So I was kind of what the heck is going on? Why is up, down, and down, up? And at the same time, Trump was running. And so I was kind of questioning my allegiance to leftist media, so to speak, because of how I was treated. And I didn't really comprehend when I just told them the truth about this random chick. And Trump, they were saying, was a racist, a white supremacist, all of this stuff. And I was willing to at least listen to the other side because I now did not trust the Washington Post. And so I decided to just listen to a Trump speech without having it filtered for me by CNN or MSNBC. And I heard his pitch to Black America, and he was in Dimondale, Michigan at the time. And he said, Black America, and he sort of listed all of the ways in which Black Americans are struggling, the statistics, just the raw statistics. And he said, why don't you just take a chance on me? What do you have to lose? Just do something different. You vote Democrat every 4 years. And I was fair elevator pitch. I like it, whatever. Still not going to get my vote, but whatever. And then I pivoted to my trusted sources over at CNN, and Don Lemon was crying over, and it was he looked Black America in the face and he said, "You are poor, you are pathetic, you can't do this." And I was that didn't happen at all. That's not what he said. He gave a kind of reasonable pitch. You've been doing the same thing. Why don't you try something different? And so that began a huge, man, could I have had this thing wrong? Are Republicans not all racist and backwards? Is there something I'm missing here? And me just sort of being the naturally curious person that I am, who wants to learn more, I kind of privately began that pursuit. And it led me to Thomas Sowell and his work and his books. And it changed my life. I really love Thomas Sowell. I feel like he's my private tutor who I've never met.
Right on. Do you still consider yourself to be a conservative?
I'm always going to be a conservative. I actually realized I always was a conservative. I was raised with my grandfather. He was conservative.
There we
A
go.
Republican.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Cypher.
I guess there is a difference now, huh?
And I guess there always has been, because I was
What's
liberal,
up,
but I wasn't a
Max?
Democrat. I didn't vote
What's
Democrat.
up, Matt?
Or I thought I was a liberal.
Oh yeah, everybody rolling in here. What's up, Max? What's up, Matt? What's up, Cypher? Let me tell y'all, chat. I got my Claude bot, my Claude AI agent, editing my videos in the background while we're streaming. So Be sure to be on the lookout for the videos. The videos will get better because I'm still training the video editor. But I'm training it right now while we're working, so they will get better. But be on the lookout, man, for the videos.
Liberal, but actually I was raised conservatively, and my
What's up,
values
Miss
were always
VR?
conservative, and I am a conservative. I think it works. I think family works.
This is the thing, Gito, is that when the conservatives come in here and say, and people like Officer Tatum are like, the Democratic Party is the one that held slaves. Y'all just got your mind fucked up. It was the Democratic Party that held slaves. And I'm sitting here like, look, bro, I understand what you're saying about that, like, if that's what you want to say. But why is it you only see Confederate flags in conservative yards? Why is it you only see the white supremacist rallies filled with conservatives? I mean, I'm looking at them, nigga.
And that's the most, what are we conserving at the end of the day is the question. And to me, it's traditional families. I think that's our best guard against the government.
I think so too. Honestly, I think that's almost the only, that's might be the only thing that we can really, I don't know. You had said something earlier about, we were talking about, do you feel like it's your responsibility to do what you do? And then you'd said you really trust your gut when you're hiring people. I don't know, man. I trust my gut, but
Alpha says the Confederate flag represents state sovereignty against the federal government. Not in Arkansas. Not in Arkansas, Alpha. I'm going to say that much.
maybe I don't
It holds a different connotation in Arkansas.
fucking trust my gut, because the lead up to this last election was just all lies.
Something happened to Trump, right?
But something happened to all of them.
Now you talking about how a white supremacist rally. Have you even seen one? Yes, I've seen a many of them, if you want to be honest. I've seen them in downtown Little Rock. They march down MLK. Hot Springs, they march down Central. I've actually seen KKK come from the little lodge or whatever they got into town and fight black people because of they were gonna hold the rally. Straight up. I've seen brawls. I've seen rallies. Yes, nigga. That shit going on where I'm from. I don't know what you talking about.
Yeah. Well,
Every single one of them,
who? Who else?
except Joe Kent.
I mean, what did you expect from Marco Rubio? Like,
Absolutely nothing.
absolutely
Exactly what
not.
we see.
Exactly. The person that I think I placed stock in was Trump. And we got played. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We got...
You can say whoever it was funded by. I'm telling you who was there. I'm telling you, Arkansas has been a red state. It's been red. I'm just going to be honest with you. Yeah, you could say who it's funded by, but I know for damn sure who was marching in the motherfuckers, man. It is what it is.
It's kind of shocking the ways that he lied. And so you have to then go, why? This is nothing like Trump 1.0. Trump 2.0 is totally different. And the obvious answer is I think that Trump desperately, by any means necessary, wanted to win again. Felt the election, like many people do feel, was stolen from him in 2020. COVID, changing the way we vote. I totally agree with that, by the way. And his entire life's mission then transformed into, I will do anything to win again.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. As a black man from the South, bro, I'm just got to keep it too honest. Y'all could say the Democrats were marching, the Republic. To me, the white folks was marching. I'm just going to say it, bro. Y'all can separate it, Democrats, Republic. To me, white folks is marching. Straight up.
Again, including making a deal with the devil and selling my soul.
That's what you think happened.
And he took $300 million from Miriam Adelson, something that he once mocked Marco Rubio from doing. He tweeted once about Sheldon Adelson owning Marco Rubio. And you don't take $300 million from people who run the Vegas.
A very generous woman.
You don't take $300 million from people who run Vegas and tell them no about anything. That's how it works. You know, that you could talk about that in the micro level. You know this stuff growing up, basic survival skills. Like when people, you know, you don't borrow money from people unless you know who they are. Like, and that's can apply to gangs. You know, it's time to pay up. And so Trump is not his own man, plain and simple. Trump is not running this administration. It wasn't a gift. It wasn't, hey, I really love what you're doing. Here's $300 million. You know, it came with contingencies, demands, one of it being that they wanted to annex the West Bank, which was something that was told to me by Charlie and Andrew Colbert, who were present for that meeting between Miriam Adelson and Donald Trump, that she said that. I'll cut you this check. But when we want to annex the West Bank, that's what they wanted in exchange. So now I think he probably has a little bit of regret taking the money.
You think so?
I think so. I don't think he likes not being his own man. I think that's what a lot of the lashing out is about. I think Trump at his core wants to be liked, and I think he knows he's not liked right now.
You think he'll ever be liked again?
No.
Me neither. How much wealth has he amassed since he took this presidency?
The better question is, how much more do they need? How much more does the Trump family need? I mean, when Ivanka swimming to Albania, I was like, what, how much more money do you guys need? When is enough enough?
Never.
Yeah, and that's why you feel like they fully have given themselves in.
Now, I agree with him, Tony. I agree with XX, man. I'm from the South, and I agree with XX. If you flying a Confederate flag, bro, I'm just going to make the assumption you're racist. You might have a black friend. You might even invite that black friend over for drinks. But you're not going to let your daughter mess with no niggas. I still believe that if you have a girl or if you're courting a girl and she says she had slept with a black man, you're going to call her trash, call her whatever slurs. I'm just going to assume that off the Confederate flag. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm just going to assume a few things.
Because none of them were like that before.
You don't think so?
No, I think I spent a lot of time with Don Trump Jr., and he was a real person. And he was certainly a very close friend of Charlie's. He shocked me the most after the assassination because I knew Don. And I challenged right away. I challenged him. I said, if Don Jr., who hunts, that's the guy, he knows the wilderness. If Don Jr. comes out and says,
yeah, you said I'm making an assumption. Yeah, you damn right. I'm not. I said from the beginning, I'm going to assume. I'm just going to be honest with you. Every time I've been outside somewhere and people have rolled by, let the window down, and yelled out the hard ER, that they had some Confederate flags flying from that truck, man. Every time I went somewhere and motherfuckers was like, where you from? Are you lost and shit? There was some Confederate flags around. I'm just going to be honest. I've been places, Chad, where my money wasn't even good. I've been places to where my money was not good. Straight up.
he believes that Charlie's neck stopped a 30-06 bullet, I'll back off. I don't think Don Jr. has even spoken about Charlie's assassination since. I think a lot of people are going to go to hell for an eternity. I know a lot of people are going to go to hell for an eternity. But the level of talk about the mourning process of realizing that Charlie gave so much of his life to put those people into power, contending with that level of betrayal transformed me.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, no, I don't consider myself to be a Republican. Yes, I do consider myself to be a conservative.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't even know what the fuck this means. I don't even know if I'll ever vote again.
That's how I feel.
Probably not. I just, going through this and uncovering everything that we've uncovered, nothing's changed. I don't know about you, but for me, it's a fuck ton of stress. Being associated with these people, now they have my number, they can reach me. I fucking hate that shit. And then, what was it all for? This shit that we see? Do you think this needed to happen?
What needed to happen?
This veil to be lifted?
Yeah, I have to believe that. I have to believe it. I am at my core an eternal optimist, and I don't want to give in to like despair. And I have to believe that Charlie was right, that his death was going to happen because it would be tied to a global awakening. And I've seen that. I've seen the seeds of that. I've seen the sprouts of that. When there's a lack of answers, conspiracies become weighted. And you can't tell me that it's normal for a man to survive an assassination attempt and shut down the investigation into his own assassination attempt. That doesn't make sense. Trump can't make that make sense.
You think he knows?
I
That's
think
why he's blocking the investigation.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's not the state that treats you unfairly. Well, you can go with the courts if we're going to talk about the courts, but like the people, there are some very good people. Even in these sundown towns where it's racist and shit, there are some good people that's going to make sure that you at least make it off the road and get on the road. Like I told y'all my story a couple of weeks ago. I had a flat tire in a town where it's no niggas allowed. There ain't no niggas at the school. There ain't no niggas that work at the stores. There's no niggas, there's just no niggas out here. It's always been like that. My whole life, this particular town has been that way. I caught a flat. The guy pulled up, he helped me change my tire, went home, got a jack and everything. And he told me straight up, hey man, you kind of need to get on the road, man. Like that's why I helped you. Like you don't need to be out here like this. Like he said in so many words, he was like, you need to get the fuck on, plug.
Is it him blocking it or is it the FBI?
Well, if Tucker is to be believed, you can decide whether you believe Tucker or whether you believe Dan Bongino, but I'm going to go with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I'll go with Tucker on that.
I'm going to go with Tucker, and Dan's reaction to what Tucker said was very strange. He was like, it's like going to be.
Oh, and I got to tell y'all that, what's that shit? Is it the brake starter? So I had a tire and my spare was off the rim. So the guy pulled up and we sprayed the little, I think it was the brake spray inside of the tire and hit it with the lighter and it worked. I watched the YouTube video and it worked, man. It was his first time trying that shit too. That shit worked.
Beat up Tucker Carlson or something. I was like, Tucker Carlson's not going to fight you. Like, what is wrong with you? But he came undone when Tucker revealed the conversation they had, and Tucker seemed to be telling the truth that, Dan said that Trump blocked it personally. And that's reflected even in what Don Trump Jr. said. He said, my dad is satisfied with the investigation. I'm not, and I'm going to leave it there. So clearly the directive had gone out from Trump that no more talk about Butler. So make that make sense. You survived an assassination attempt. You're now number one in charge of the country. Why would you not just...
I have no idea why you wouldn't want to know who's trying to fucking kill you. It just makes...
This is like turning
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, they don't want to
I don't know
hear
why it
you.
makes sense to so many other fucking people, but
No.
it doesn't make sense to me. I would want to know who's trying to kill me.
Yeah. So there's something we're missing about Butler. And it's the exact same, stage, so to speak, the exact same play as the Charlie Kirk assassination, where everyone who should be the most curious about investigating is very much not curious about investigating, angry at people that are investigating, and attacking people who want to get answers. The public's going to notice that. The public's going to notice that something's not right. And they're going to begin to suspect the people who purport to be the victims.
Why do you think nobody in this administration's speaking up? Do you think they're all under the same control, or are they all under Trump's control?
We know that Charlie represented almost a solitary voice, maybe outside of J.D. Vance's, in terms of trying to communicate to Trump that getting involved with Iran was a bad idea. That administration is not working for Donald Trump. They're working for Israel. Obviously. Trump is powerless. Everyone can see that.
It's just, I mean, I had Kash Patel sitting right across from me at the other studio, and we just went on and on about the Epstein shit. On and on and on. And then nothing.
Where's Kash Patel from? He's from Vegas. If Kash Patel has ever had any power in his life, his power came from that entire city was built by Israel. You know, Miriam Adelson has served the IDF. Sheldon Adelson said his biggest regret was not having served the IDF. They've never been, I mean, Trump said it on stage. She's more loyal to Israel than she is to our country. I mean, it's not a secret. Vegas is a dangerous place. People say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. No, stays in Vegas and gets sent over to Tel Aviv. It's just a city of blackmail, to be honest with you. And they're all kind of tied there. They're all kind of tied, in my view, to Vegas. I mean, Andrew Colvett, he's from Reno. His dad did, legal work on the casinos. And it's like this thing. His brother served, it was, from the Reno unit that went over and were guarding the poppy seeds in Afghanistan. That was his brother, was like colonel lieutenant on that. That was just poppy trafficking. After that, we had the opioid crisis. And what do we think these wars are about, Mm-hmm. What did we win in Afghanistan? Poppy seeds.
Here we go.
The opioid crisis.
What do you think is going to happen in the midterms? What actually? Let me back up. Now you see Trump speaking out against Israel. You see Vance. I don't buy it either. You see Trump and Vance. Now all of a sudden, it's like, where the fuck did this come from?
It all seems very performative to me, and I'm not sure why they're moving to, I guess, this new act, so to speak.
Because they're destroyed.
Yeah. Maybe because midterms
they're completely destroyed.
Maybe because midterms are around the corner.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, they're fucking destroyed.
So they're going to pretend.
So, Chad, do y'all actually think the Republicans are destroyed for the midterms, man? Are the Republicans toast for the midterms?
And he's like Mr. Tough Guy again and standing up to Bibi. It's all very performative.
Do you think people are going to buy this shit?
No.
Do you think Israel's in on the act?
Yes.
Me too.
I think you should take the Mossad at their word when they say we are the directors, the actors, we can infiltrate any organization, any company. We're the script writers. I believe that.
That's a 60 Minutes interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After referring to, how they were able to infiltrate and get the PETN explosive Petin into the beepers, and how they created all these fake companies with fake employees. And I think about when I hear those words, Charlie in his life, and how I think it became an Israeli Truman Show, but similar for Trump. Everyone around him is just working for a higher boss, and it's the Rothschilds and it's Israel. So all of that is performative. I mean, I couldn't be motivated to vote for midterms.
Yeah, me neither.
Especially after what we saw happen with Thomas Massie, where they're just so in our face about it now, where they're like, we don't like you. If you have a opinion against Israel, we'll spend.
That's the only thing I can't really put together in my head is we see this act. We see all of a sudden everybody's a tough guy against Israel. Like, oh, right, okay. Mm-hmm. Right around the corner from midterms. But I also don't really believe in the election system because of all kinds of shit we've seen. Spencer Pratt's race, probably the most recent one. Massey's race. So if the elections are phony, then why do they give a shit about the act?
Because the illusion matters.
Why does it matter?
Because think about if truly tomorrow they came out and said, your vote doesn't mean anything. We've been running the election since the beginning of time. We kill people in broad daylight. Yeah, we did JFK. We did Charlie and we're going to keep doing whatever the hell we want. So F you.
You think something would actually happen?
Yeah. Because it's actually something Charlie said to me when we were traveling once. He said, one of his little pop quizzes, what is one thing that every civilization that has ever had slavery since the beginning of human history, what is one thing that every single one of those civilizations has in common?
I don't know.
I didn't know either. And he said there were always more slaves than masters. And that always stuck with me. The few are able to get all of us to behave. So what they fear is a real revolution. That's why they always stoke the flames of internal unrest, because if all of us were in lockstep and we were like, let's go kill these pedophiles, let's go take care of business, that's the biggest threat to the system. A revolution that they don't control. So instead they create revolutions over stupidity. Mm-hmm. Trans bathroom rights.
My bad, Chad. I'm over here trying to secure the meal, man. I'm trying to secure the meal. It's a holiday, everybody cooking. I'm trying to secure the meal right now. Hold on.
Them focused and arguing about stuff that doesn't matter at all. BLM, racial strife, Why isn't there a George Floyd Square? This is fodder for idiots. While they buy islands, they take up land, they destroy heritage, they rewrite history. 20 years from now, they'll say, you already heard, I think, Jerry Seinfeld say, Palestine doesn't exist. Well, he's a man of the future. They'll rewrite history. They'll say they were the victims. It all started on October 7th. And they'll wipe away entire identities. I mean, good for the people in Albania who are standing up to the Israeli settlers right now. Don't know what their plan is there, but something's going on. And that's their biggest threat. So they have to get you to believe in the illusion of elections because you have to think you can change it and that your voice matters.
Who do you think is going to be the next president? I mean, Polymarket right now puts Vance at the top. And then 2 points below is Rubio and Gavin Newsom tied.
Rubio? What? Absolutely not. Well, I mean, maybe with AIPAC money, anything can happen.
Trump's golden boy.
Yeah. Maybe with AIPAC money, anything can happen. I'm not into political prognostications. I wouldn't put any of those people. If we had a fair system, I wouldn't put any of those people in the bucket for who would be the next president. I mean, if we're talking about on the Democratic side, yeah, I think they're going to run Gavin Newsom. That's probably accurate. But on the Republican side, there is an apathy that's setting in. And I don't see how Vance gets around everything Trump did. I don't see how Vance gets around what happened in Iran. I don't see how Vance is able to talk his way out of that.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you how. All these Catholics are really leaning into being Catholic now because it's the fastest growing Christian denomination in the world. So they're leaning into that.
I don't think that's going to be enough.
You don't think so?
Nope.
They're leaning into it pretty hard. Have you seen it?
I think he missed an opportunity to stand up to Trump on some of those points. And his unnecessary tweet against the Pope. I don't think that Catholics are tough.
I know.
That's
I'm just
one
saying.
One group that have not been socially engineered. So
I'm watching.
Yeah.
And they're really trying to tap into it.
I don't think it's going to work. I think people are so much more awake to, and especially and I'm going to call this, and I don't mean to attack Vance on this, but just more broadly speaking, the faith grift post-Charlie. People have their antennas up. Mm-hmm. Ever after Candace left. You literally sued me, and I have the documents of your sworn affidavit saying the opposite. It's the way he lies. He's just maniacal. You can't even make it up. So, but he sued me and said that they lost tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of subscribers. Literally, that's what said, tens of thousands of subscribers over the Crisis King thing, which caused their company financial harm. They sued me for their attack on me backfiring. Try to work that out.
Wow.
And their evidence of why it was actually my fault was because I couldn't say anything about Andrew Clavin, but Jeremy then stalked my likes on Twitter, and people that were defending me, I was liking the tweets. He brought that into court and said the likes are disparaging.
Did this shit hold up?
They ended up eventually, let me tell you the blessing of the way God works. So we were being sued. They wanted millions of dollars for my likes, literally, my likes on Twitter. And so basically they were going to get every bit that we agreed to walk away. And I wanted them to pay me out what was due. And they figured they'd just claw it in court because Jeremy's a homosexual psychopath and he will like focus on that. And they were like trying to tell the judge that likes amount to disparagement. And a blessing occurs. You cannot make this up because they are like cartoon characters. My lawyer gets a call, and I want to say it was Labor Day weekend. It might have been, what would be before Labor Day? I feel like it was sometime in August, but I feel like it was Labor Day weekend. And my lawyer on the case was like in a bar. He had a couple of beers. And he said he comes out and like Daily Wire's lawyer calls him and he's like freaking out on the phone. And he's like, she pulled her contract and you knew, blah, blah, blah. And my lawyer's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you mean she pulled her contract? You guys fired her. And he's like, you're going to pretend you don't know? And my lawyer, Rob, is like, what happened? Like, what did Candace do? Like, what happened? And he's like, we're talking about Brett. So these geniuses thought that I had something to do with Brett pulling her contract. And they were the ones who told me that Brett pulled her contract. Oh, it was brilliant. The whole thing was just amazing. So I had no idea that Brett had done this, obviously, because I had nothing to do with it. And she pulled her contract. And then because they were so in their conspiracy mind, thought I had something to do with it, their lawyer then informed me that Brett pulled her contract. And so that's how I found out that Brett was leaving the Daily Wire from their own lawyer.
Shit. How long after you left did Brett leave?
Brett, but it ended up saving me in this court thing. The first time they ended up suing me again, and then Brett again. It was nonstop lawsuits all the time. But because Brett, it was such a shock to everyone, myself included, they then suddenly had like a two-front war. You know what I mean? Like they're fighting me in court, and then suddenly like Jeremy was going to put Brett in a torture chamber. And they, I guess, decided to just, for the first lawsuit, we decided to agree and walk away. But then they found another reason to sue me again. And that was because I saw red when I saw them doing what they did to me to Brett. They tried the same thing. They were going to go with anti-Semitism. Brett Cooper. I mean, this girl does like pop culture videos. But it's tried and true. So they started stalking her likes and exact same thing, getting their friends to write articles like, what's happening to Brett Cooper? She likes this tweet. And I defended her. And when he did the thing with her best friend as a way to torture her, because that's what that was. That's how he is. He's unwell. But because it's like, you don't leave my cult and you're a piece of property to me, I'm going to make you suffer.
What's up, Shirley?
He went to her wedding. He went to Brett's wedding. Knew Reagan was her best friend, knew that Reagan was her maid of honor, and thought through.
Kidding me, dude.
And here's what the most effed up part, and I apologize in advance for me having absolutely zero permission from Brett, but we're already on the show, so I can't say anything. I can't go backward. Sometimes I feel like I'm not on air, and I kind of forget that all of this is going to... Do you know that's kind of the problem with podcasts, is sometimes I'm just talking to you in your...
Sometimes you get a little loose.
I'm just talking to you in your living room now.
Yeah.
And this will be obviously very viral, but the most effed up part of it, and I actually think both of the girls were victimized by it. I want to be clear. Like, I don't like what Reagan did, but these were two young girls, like, you know, young, and they were best friends, and there was just a maniacal homosexual man doing this because he wanted Brett to suffer for just leaving a job. Like, hey, I'm 22. No matter what my reason is, I should be able to leave a job. He offered Reagan more money than he ever paid Brett.
Great business decision. Worked out really
like
well
an offer
for him.
you can't refuse, sort of a thing, which would have been life-changing. So who knows what her life pressures were, or and this is me being gracious, because I'm not a fan of that. I don't like when girls, I wouldn't have done it. I'll tell you that for free. But I'm built a little different. But you can see how that kind of money in front of someone who's just like an associate producer, and
What's
suddenly
up,
someone's
AJ?
like, not only will I make you a star, I'll do this, and he did that for sport because he wanted her to, and it hurt her. By the way, he was successful. That was a relationship that meant a lot to her. And that's not something, this is something you hear like a deranged husband doing to a wife after a divorce. You know what I mean? Like how will I make her suffer, and like using the kids as a chip in the middle of the divorce. This isn't something you hear about.
All right, chat. I ain't gonna lie, that's enough of that, man. I done sat here. I done got hungry. I done got hungry, man. We finna get off, and we'll be back tomorrow with a regular show. I just came on tonight to, show face, hang out with y'all for a while, do a little watching of this Candace shit, man. But I am hungry. I'm tired of these lights being in my face. So I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Be sure to double tap that screen on your way out. Check out the videos that I've uploaded on the channel. We got more videos dropping. And I'll see y'all on the next one, chat. Good night.